What is up, everybody? Welcome back to this week's edition of the Sportsgasm Podcast, the podcast by fans for fans. With me as your host, as always, is Isaac,
What's up, everybody?
and we got Calvin over here, as always.
How y'all doing? How y'all doing?
And y'all already know I am Kylee. Quick shout out to our sponsors. We do have a couple promo codes for you. We go to bodycheckwellness.com, use promo code OCS at checkout for 25% off your hemp-derived CBD oils and edibles for you and your furry friends at home. And head over to norsebeards.com and use promo code OCS at checkout for 25% off your Beardsman products.
Get a luxurious playoff beard going there, especially if your team is still alive in the Stanley Cup playoffs, which at the moment there are only 3 left. So if you are a fan of the Rangers, Lightning, or the Avs, you're in luck. Go to
shout out to your team for a big win last night.
Oh, we'll get into that. By the way, speaking of
Definitely.
Norse beards, I have a bone to pick with the United States Postal Service. They selected my house to take part in a survey on what type of mail that we are getting delivered. So I have been locked out of getting my Norse beards products because they are currently being held as part of the survey. So yeah, thanks a lot, U.S. Postal Service, from denying me the chance to get some beard oil and a brush to get this playoff beard looking nice and spiffy.
We got to get you that playoff beard, man. I don't know what they're doing.
I know. They're being weird.
Calvin,
Well,
you wanted to mention something real quick, though?
Oh yeah, I don't know how many people are watching right now. I'm sure there'll be a lot of people that tune in afterwards, though, and catch up on the episode. Just wanted to let everybody know, though, I am a plumber as well, not just a sports guy. I also am a plumber as well. Got my own business here, Waterworks with Bacon. You can follow it on Instagram, just how it's spelled on the card, Waterworks with Bacon. All your residential plumbing needs, just one phone call away, and I'll come take care of you.
Hey, we always support our business ventures for all of our co-hosts here. So you heard the man. Go check out his plumbing service, guys, if you need any plumbing work done. With that being said, let's jump into today's discussion. We've got a jam-packed episode, lots to talk about. This was a crazy week. We got NBA Finals stuff to talk about, NHL playoff stuff to talk about. We got a ton of NFL offseason news, including some pretty serious stuff coming out of both Cleveland and Houston. We'll get into that later. But as always, we're going to start off with the world of baseball. And before we start talking about something that Kylee really wants to talk about, which is the drama surrounding her team, I would like to present an anecdote about how weird this baseball season has been. And that was this doubleheader that the Marlins and the Rockies played last Wednesday. Game 1, the Marlins won 14-1. Game 2, the Rockies won 13-12. Can somebody help me understand that? Explain what I just witnessed?
I don't even understand it, dude.
Marlins are looking nice this year. They've been quietly under the radar as one of the better teams in the NL.
Yeah, I don't want
with
to
how
talk about
stacked their division is, I don't know if they're going to be able to make the playoffs, but they got some players out there. They're not looking too shabby.
Yeah, they aren't looking too bad. I watched them put up a bunch of runs on the Nationals last night, actually. So
that was beautiful.
Marlins are looking very good right now. But for that doubleheader day, that's crazy right there. Just the Rockies didn't seem like they came to play that first game. I don't know what ignited them in that second game, but hey.
So as a sports broadcaster, I've called a couple doubleheaders, and usually in the first game, if a team isn't looking too good, they will completely turn it around in the second game. It's not ideal, and coaches don't like it, but that's how it works sometimes. Quick shout out, Jesse Bell on Facebook. What's up, guys and lady? What's up, Jesse? It's our boss over there at Old City Sports Network. Thanks for the comment, Jesse. Glad you're tuning in. So, Kylee, let's talk about Philly, because the Phillies have quietly emerged as one of the hottest teams in baseball. And it started with their breaking their winless streak with a 6-5 win over the Giants, and then they knocked off 5 straight wins. And what's the streak at now? Have they kept the streak up?
It's at 5. Last night it continued on to 5. So we beat the Giants, as it says here, 6-5, and then we had a series against the Angels, who were on an 8-game losing streak.
And we'll get into that later about what's happened with the Angels.
Yeah, we're definitely going to get into the Angels a little bit later. But so needless to say, we continued their winless streak to 10. So or 11.
And you did that by doing this to the best pitcher in the National League.
Yeah, well, he's on the Brewers, but yeah. So
yeah. I was a little
so yeah, it continues, and they played the Brewers last night, and it was a clear pitching duel. I mean, the score was 3-2, and the Phillies get another win in the ninth inning, and off the best closer in baseball right now, he went 40 straight appearances without allowing an earned run.
That's ridiculous.
40 since July 7th of last year.
And of all the teams to break that streak,
The Phillies.
It was the Phillies. Philly has
And you
been
know
looking...
who did it too? It was Alec Boehm that started it.
That okay, somebody who watches Yankees games and doesn't really watch other teams, explain to me in a casual baseball fan's terms what that means. Alec Boehm starting it.
So I am a massive Alec Boehm fan. I have loved him ever since he was coming up in the minors. And last year he really struggled. He even got sent down. So we had a bit of a struggle, and then he came back this year. A little bit of a struggle going into the season. And then as soon as he said that I effing hate this place, his career and season seemed to be turning around completely. And he is the one to end Josh Hader's ERA, 0 ERA streak with the home run. And then he immediately gives up another home run to Matt Vierling, who just got caught up yesterday.
So this brings up an interesting question. What has sparked the Phillies to suddenly go from being stuck in neutral to being incredible? The answer is what happened earlier this week. Joe Girardi is out in Philadelphia. It's the first big managerial firing of the season. And based on news that happened just yesterday, or was it yesterday or 2 days ago? Earlier this week.
Yeah, with the Angels, right?
With the Angels. It's not. It's already old news because there's another managerial firing. But Kylee, you and pretty much everybody who's part of Old City Sports Network had a lot to say about this. So Kylee, as our resident Philly fan, give it up for Joe Girardi. Let us hear what your opinion is.
So Joe Girardi as a person, I love. He's a great guy. He's nice. When he first came to Philadelphia, he was excited to say how all the history he has with the team. Obviously coaching against us with the Yankees in 2009, beating us in the World Series, stuff like that. So he was, really kind of pushing that, and I really liked him to begin with. I wanted him over anybody else, which was a very bad take because Dusty Baker was right there. But that's besides the point. Everybody has moments where they're wrong. And unfortunately, this is one of them. But it seems that the young guys are getting their playing time and they're contributing. This is what we've been asking for since midway through this season. So it's really awesome to see that Bryson Stott gets his first 2 home runs, one of which is a walk-off. And, Alec Boehm ends Josh Hader's ERA streak. So just stuff like that has happened only since he's been fired. So we'll see how it continues.
Now this also brings up another question too, which I saw. This was on TikTok. A Phillies fan pointed this out on TikTok. Is that Girardi's firing is just the first piece in getting this team to where it needs to be, because he pointed out at the end of the day, Girardi was only choosing the lineup out of players that Dave Dombrowski selected. So one could make the argument that it wasn't really Girardi's fault. It was the fault of the Phillies management for, building a roster that wasn't the most talented. And I'm curious what your opinion on that take is.
So that's not entirely wrong. Obviously, firing Joe Girardi is not the end all be all. It's not going to be the thing that gets us to the World Series, obviously. But seeing how much energy this team now has, just since in the four games since they fired him, they've had 2 ninth inning comebacks for the first time since 1900. So
what?
Yeah, I know. That was only a stat that popped up on Twitter last night and this morning. And it's
He's
just
1900.
yeah. So what Joe Girardi? Here's what people who haven't paid attention to the Phillies this season haven't noticed. Yes, the pitching has been awful, but we have other pitchers that can close out games. Familia shouldn't even be in the MLB, let alone closing a Phillies game. And Joe Girardi would always put him in. What's his name? Jose Alvarado would always blow a game. He just doesn't have that command yet. He's young, he can get it, but he didn't have that command yet, and he always put him in tough situations. Morales, a rookie, got called up. He had a high leverage inning, shut him down, and he had another shutdown closing inning. Guess where he is? The minors. So it's just things like that, and the lineup itself. The leadoff spot is cursed for us. It's absolutely cursed, and no matter who you put in there, you can put up the hottest guy. Reese Hoskins was hot for a second. Put him in the leadoff spot, he's dead now. It's just things like that where it's just some of his management was just not good. But the take is not entirely wrong.
Well, we're not, Calvin. I don't want to leave you out and talking about our favorite team, so let's quickly talk about the Mets. The Mets ran into a bit of trouble this past week. They got shut out for the first time this season. Pete Alonso also injured his wrist after being hit by a pitch, so he was out this week as well. And Francisco Lindor slammed his finger in a hotel room door and missed one game for the Mets. I don't want to say it yet, but is this the injury wave that always hits the Mets?
Don't say it.
No,
You said it, but...
Not yet.
Not yet. We took a loss last night, you know.
Bad one, too. Y'all got blown out.
Yeah, hard loss last night to the Padres. But the night before we came on, we performed pretty good against the Padres and, you know, got a W. So I still feel as if we're showing that we can run with all these big teams in the MLB, you know, that will have those far playoff pushes. So we're okay. These little injuries aren't doing anything to us yet.
Okay, but you got to admit, you know, you're feeling a little bit. There's a little thing in the back of your head that is like, it's beginning. This is how it always goes.
Yeah, you know, so look, it's funny you say that because yesterday I was sitting there and I was looking at things to bet on and stuff. And I'm like, we beat the Padres yesterday. Do I really want to bet on the Mets today? I'm like, tonight they'll probably get blown out. And sure enough, they got blown out. I just stayed away from the game completely. It was just like so iffy on my gut about if they would win or not, because like you said, since the injuries are coming and stuff like that are coming, the inconsistencies might start to come, and I'm worried of that, but I'm not too worried yet. I think we'll be okay.
I like the positivity. I like the optimism. That's good. You got to keep that going, especially if you guys want to beat my team in the World Series. Yankees absolutely flattened the Twins last night. It was our first game against Gio Urshela and Gary Sanchez after we traded them. Josh Donaldson was returned to Minnesota. And first, top of the first, Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton hit back-to-back home runs, and it was on from there. So I think we're the first team to 40 wins. So
yep.
Is he your MVP favorite for the AL?
Oh, Aaron Judge. Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's basically carrying the Yankees. I will say that the rest of the Yankees are starting to pull their weight too. Even Joey Gallo, which is surprising because he's been taken out of the lineup a couple of times. The guy we replaced him with, Matt Carpenter, by the way, the stash. I want him on the lineup. I want him. He doesn't give me anxiety like Gallo does, because Gallo's been so inconsistent. Gallo and Hicks are the two people on the lineup that I haven't been thrilled with this year, and even they're doing fine. So,
must be nice.
Some other, y'all are getting there. Y'all are getting there. Quick look around the rest of the league at some other stuff going on. We had a tank bowl to determine who the worst team in baseball was. The Reds and the Nationals faced off. Wasn't even close. Nationals were crushed 8-1. The Reds have been looking really good the last couple of weeks. I think they won by like 14 runs last night. They have quietly been doing really good.
It's funny because I think last episode we were just talking about how the Reds were so bad, but since that episode, I think they've been not hot, but they've been on a cool little win streak, and then they'll lose one, and then they'll get back on like a 3-game win streak again. So I guess we're gonna see the bright side of the Reds for a little bit in this season here.
And remember, they're no longer the worst team in the league.
That is
the
very true.
No, they're not.
The Nationals have taken over. So if you want to see me at a baseball game this summer, I will be at Indy Nats Park because those tickets are looking nice, $20. Yep. Some other games to go over. Some quick blowout. We always like keeping track of all the big blowouts because they happen a lot. We have the Braves taking down the Rockies 13-6, and then the Cardinals stomping the Cubs 14-5. I just want to say, whoever thought they should put this game on Sunday Night Baseball clearly has not been watching the Cubs this year. What happened to the Cubs, by the way? Remember how hyped we were the first week, Kylee, with Seiya Suzuki, and how the Cubs were just looking amazing?
Yeah.
What happened?
I don't know, man. It's incredible how much has changed since then.
The way the Orioles treated them last night was just incredible.
Obliterated them.
Yeah.
What was the final score? I didn't see that game.
I think it was 9-1.
Like, I don't know. I know the Orioles scored more than 7.
It was 9-3.
9-3.
There were 5 home runs.
Despite all of these teams having their struggles, though, they haven't been the worst team in baseball over the past week.
No.
That goes to the Angels, who have now lost 13 straight and have fired Joe Madden. You have to think, last month the Angels were in a tie with the Astros for much of the month for first place in the AL West. It looked like they could be, one of the few teams in the AL that could pose a threat to the Yankees. Well, we swept them, and they've now been completely annihilated by every team. They got swept by the Phillies. Joe Madden has been shown the door. Shohei Ohtani has been shut down both as a pitcher and as a hitter. And it begs the question, what the hell is happening? I know we've asked this about a lot of teams in this episode so far, but I'll ask it one last time. What the hell is happening to the Angels?
I have no idea. Joe Madden actually said that he was shocked at the firing.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, baseball is a game of streaks, but like when you're at a 13-game losing streak, I don't know. Job isn't doing
and that's what to pick up on you saying that, Kylie. Like when you get to 13 games, like I don't know, like how much can you really put on the manager after 13 games? Like what are the players going out there and doing? Like somebody's got to hit the ball to score some runs. Like the manager can't go out there and swing the bat for you, So it's like 13 straight losses. Somebody in that organization needs to just put their foot down and say, hey, we need to get it together.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
I will say this: it's better that they're having these struggles early in the season than late. There is a very famous story from the 90s about something the Angels did. The Angels had something like this happen to them in 1995. They had like a 10.5 game lead over the Mariners in the West, and then they had 2 straight 9-game losing streaks and ended up missing the playoffs. So I'll say this: better for a team like the Angels to have these like growing pains early in the season. We're only in the 3rd month of the season. Better for them to have it at this point in the season than to have it happen in crunch time down the stretch.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It puts you in a hole, early on, but that just means you have time to come back from it.
And it's true. That's true.
Just like the Phillies at the Mets.
Yeah. We'll get on to that in a second. Kylie, it is time to do a quick recap of our stat leaders, our standing updates, and some early trade deadline names that might be popping up. So who are the big names that are floated around in the trade rumors? Who's getting put into the trade bot on Twitter to randomly tweet something out?
So a couple of names to look out for early on. So nothing, set in stone. Also depends on how the team does and stuff like that. So a couple of the big names are Luis Castillo, Wilson Contreras, Frankie Montas, who could go to the Phillies, I'm hoping. Josh Bell, which will be, I feel so bad for him. He, got traded from Pittsburgh to DC as DC looked to just retool for their World Series. And now they're where they are now. So Josh Bell being traded. We got to rescue him.
We got to get him out.
Yeah, literally. And, come to Philly? I mean, you're always welcome.
They can't all come to Philly.
All the good ones, yes, they can. They are all allowed to.
Okay.
You got Andrew Benintendi, Nelson Cruz, Trey Mancini, which will be an interesting one to watch out for because the Orioles aren't bad right now.
The Orioles have slowly been repairing their season. I think
Yes.
that all the hype when they called up Adley Rutschman has really helped to give them a boost, even if Rutschman hasn't been doing the best. I mean, he's still a rookie. He's trying. He's trying. I will say though, I don't see the Orioles parting with Trey Mancini.
I
He
don't
is
either.
loved by
Definitely.
those fans. That is
Yeah.
a player the Orioles would probably be like, you can have anybody you want on our roster. And believe me, there's plenty of people that the Orioles would love to get rid of. Anthony Ben Boone. But they're not going to part ways with Trey Mancini.
I don't think so. It was a theory early on, and it could, depending on what it's looking like for the Orioles, it's possible. I don't know.
There's another name on your list that I think the Orioles would part ways with, and that's Anthony Santander.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I can see them trading him to try and get
Santander.
Santander. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Santander.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's one of them, and he's one of them, and I think that one's possible. And then you have David Peralta. So, that those are the names that are possible. There's like a whole bunch more, but it all depends.
Tommy Pham was also on that list.
Yeah, I mentioned Tommy Pham. He's one of them.
It's gonna be interesting. Whatever team he goes with is gonna have some new ground rules. No fantasy football, Tommy. we saw what happened in your old team.
Right, exactly. But I mean, it's all up in the air. It really depends on what teams fall short at the trade deadline. Who like the Cubs, who didn't see them going far, so they traded everybody. Could be one of those random situations. Could be the opposite. The Orioles can be hot and retool, add players to just keep going further. So it all depends.
Well, let's take a look at the standings. Kylee, who's leading who?
All right. So these standings, we have, starting with the American League East, we have, of course, the Yankees. The Blue Jays are 7 games behind that. They seem to be catching up a little bit.
Psh, psh.
Not to the Yankees, but they're getting in second place. Come on.
They can't catch us.
And then you have the Tampa Bay Rays, 8 games behind the Yankees.
They've been a bit disappointing this year, not gonna lie.
Yeah, they have.
I thought they'd be a better challenge, but not really.
No one's a challenge for the Yankees right now.
Yeah.
You have the disappointing Red Sox, 11.5 games behind. And then you have the Orioles, a mind-blowing 17 games behind.
Wow.
Ooh.
That's just because the Yankees keep winning.
Yeah. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The Yankees have won 7 straight, by the way. So
Oh my God.
we're gonna make that more.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna make that more. The Yankees are hot right now.
Yeah, we got the Twins, Cubs, and Rays coming up. So
speaking of the Twins, they are leading the AL Central. And then you have the White Sox 4 games behind that.
We're going to help the White Sox out this week, these next 2 days. We're going to help the White Sox out and get them a little closer.
Yeah, as long as they win. So yeah, the White Sox and the Guardians are both 4 games behind. And then you have the Detroit Tigers, who are 9 games behind that. And then you have the Kansas City Royals, who are 13.5 games behind. So,
Interesting.
Yeah. And then you have the American League West with the Houston Asterix leading it. And then you have somehow still the Angels in second, 9.5 games behind that, as well as the Texas Rangers that are 9.5 games out of that. And then you have the Seattle Mariners, 11 games behind that. And then the Athletics, who are 16.5 games behind the Astros. And then moving on to the National League, where you have the Mets in first. Then you have the Braves 8 games behind that. Then you have the Phillies 10.5 games behind the Mets. Then the Marlins 12.5 games, and then the Nationals 16.5 games behind first. So
gross.
You're chilling.
Phillies can sneak a game closer tonight. You guys could sneak past the Brewers again.
Yeah, I hope so. And then you have the NL Central, where you have the Brewers leading it all. And then you have The Cardinals a half game out of that. A little bit of a bloodbath going on there. And then you have the Pirates 7 games behind them. And then you have the Cubs 9.5 games out. And then the Reds 12 games out.
So the Reds, they're kind of getting there.
A little bit.
Little, slowly.
2-game win streak. And then you have finally probably the best division in baseball, without giving thought into it a little bit.
It's the closest division in baseball.
Yeah. The Dodgers leading it all, but they're on a 3-game losing streak, so that could get interesting. The Padres are a game and a half out. The Giants are 5.5 games out. The Diamondbacks are 10, and the Rockies are 11. So it's all just normal stuff right now.
Rockies and Giants had a battle last night. Rockies and Giants had a battle last night. Giants were up 3-0 in that game, and Rockies came back and won 5-3.
It's crazy.
So let's move over to the stat leaders through week 8, and then we'll move on to talk about some NBA action. So stat leaders.
All right. So for batting average, we have Luis Arias of the Twins leading at the 361 batting average.
That's gonna change.
Yeah. And then for home runs, you have Aaron Judge of all people leading it with 22 home runs.
Yep.
Dude's insane right now.
Yep.
I'm
coming for that American League record.
Right. For RBI, you have Pete Alonso leading it with 54. But Jose Ramirez is right behind that with 53, so, that's a close race. For hits, you have Rafael Devers of the Red Sox leading with 80. It's not very close because Ty France is 8 behind him. In leading in stolen bases is Julio Rodriguez with 17. So, it's kind of close. You have Harrison Bader and Tommy Edman with 14, so it's kind of a close race a little bit. For pitching, for wins, it's a 4-way tie between Justin Verlander, Alek Manoah, Carlos Carrasco, and Tyler Anderson, all with 7 wins. For ERA, you have Nestor Cortez leading it all with 1.5 ERA. No surprise there.
Nasty Nestor.
Complete leaders, we have a 2-way tie because of the Phillies last night. You have Taylor Rogers and then Josh Hader, both with 18 saves. So you're welcome, Tyler Rogers.
Nice.
In strikeouts, Shane McClanahan is still leading it all with 89. And then quality starts is a 2-way tie between Joe Musgrove and Alek Manoah.
All right. Well, that'll do it for MLB. Let's move on to the world of the NBA, where we have a couple off-season stuff to talk about before we get into the finals and talk about the first 2 games of the finals. First up is the head coaching market. I don't think we ever touched on this, but the Lakers' new head coach.
Yep.
Let me just quickly pull up who it was. Yeah, Darvin Ham. I was curious what our reactions on that were.
I'm sad it's not Doc Rivers.
I'm excited it's not Doc Rivers because Doc Rivers, he's a great coach in the regular season. We see what happens when he gets to the playoffs. But I like Darvin Ham coming in, because I'm a big LeBron fan. I think it's gonna help. The big 3 that we had last year mesh together the way they're supposed to. Because I think he's bringing in Rasheed Wallace as one of his assistant coaches.
Yes, he is.
That should bring another dog out of Anthony Davis. And hopefully they just let Russell Westbrook be Russell Westbrook. And I feel like that Darvin Ham situation could go very well.
I'll agree on that.
But although for Doc Rivers, he coached a lot better in the in the playoffs than he did in the regular season this year.
This year. But I'm just speaking on
overall.
Past things. Plenty of times he got into the playoffs with the Clippers and absolutely folded. And there was a time he was up 3-1 against the Warriors. and fold it. So
That's true.
Well, the other big head coaching thing we're looking at right now is with the Hornets. Michael Jordan is meeting with head coaching finalists Mike D'Antoni and Kenny Atkinson this week. I am biased in this and saying, bring me back Mike D'Antoni. I'm curious who you guys would pick out of these two for the whatchamacallits, the Hornets. I don't know why I suddenly had a brain fart there. I forgot who the Charlotte team was.
I don't know, man.
I like
D'Antoni's
D'Antoni.
good. Yeah, D'Antoni's a good coach, but I don't know.
Mike D'Antoni or Kenny Atkinson.
One for one.
I think both could be great for. I think both could be great for the team, but I like D'Antoni, man. D'Antoni's got some history in this league here as a head coach, and he's got guys behind him to vouch for him.
That's fair. I don't know. It's just the Rockets kind of crumbled, and it was a shit show. So I don't know.
Well, I think I speak for everyone when I personally am in favor of Mike D'Antoni because I love his coaching philosophy. Those Suns teams that he coached in the 2000s are some of my favorite teams to watch, so I'm kind of biased, but I will go for Team D'Antoni. Other updates from around the league, the Trailblazers are in the process of being sold. The question is to who, and the final bidders have come down to Nike executive Phil Knight and Dodgers owner Alan Smolinski. Excuse me.
Bless you.
So, thank you. Been holding that in for a while. So, your choices are, do you want the Blazers to be owned by Nike or the Dodgers, who do you trust them not to move it out of Portland?
I don't trust them to move out of Portland, but I would definitely go with the Dodgers.
I'm gonna be honest. If I'm the Blazers, I would rather want to be owned by Nike. I believe one of the Nike headquarters is actually in Oregon. So
yep,
yeah, it is.
Yeah,
everything will just stay right there.
That's why the University of Oregon Ducks football team always has those different uniforms for every single game, because Nike's always like, we can throw in new combos. I'm kind of thinking more Nike. I think that they're from the area, and they'll keep Portland in. They'll keep the Trailblazers in Portland, which I don't think there's any rumors of them relocating or anything, but one could make the argument considering the success of the franchise or lack of success they've had in recent years. Speaking of relocations or expansions, there is a rumor, and this is just a rumor, there was a rumor going around that Adam Silver may be looking at possible expansion of the NBA, which opens up a question to where?
Seattle.
Well, the Seattle already has a team. You just got to take Oklahoma and put them back in Seattle. Oklahoma City does not need the Thunder. The Thunder don't deserve to be in Oklahoma City. They deserve to be placed back in Seattle.
Nah, seriously.
I agree, but they're gonna make the Supersonics again. That's what everybody wants. That's what Seattle's been dying for ever since they left for Oklahoma.
And end up giving us an odd number of teams and screw up the way the divisions are made. That's the problem.
Well, I'm sure they're gonna add a second team as well.
Where then? Where would you add a second team? What's a major city that, you know what? Baltimore could give Baltimore a team.
That was my thinking.
Yeah, with the Baltimore charm.
Baltimore Bullets.
No, you can't name a team Bullets anymore, Kylie. There was a time you could, but
I know that's why they changed the name from Bullets to Wizards to begin with.
Yeah,
But it's a team that everybody wants back too.
I don't think anybody really wants the Bullets back though, because the Bullets didn't really do anything. The original Bullets won a championship, but then they folded, and then the new Bullets didn't last long in the city and had to move to DC because they just couldn't get people showing up to their games. Plus, they thought DC would be better for the market, and to be fair, they did win a couple championships there. So I don't know. Seattle and Baltimore are probably the two biggest markets of the U.S. that don't have NBA teams yet.
Yeah, for sure.
There's really no other place. Birmingham, maybe, although professional sports are never going to be successful in Alabama because of how good college sports are, how big college football is down there.
Yeah.
You could make the argument maybe Tampa based on how Tampa fans are so fanatical about their teams, and also the fact that when the Raptors were forced to play in Tampa for a bit during the pandemic, they got big crowds. Just an idea.
I don't know. Florida doesn't really need any other teams. They got the Magic and the Heat. They'll be all right.
True.
California has a bunch of teams.
Give a team
That's
to
true.
Jacksonville.
Oh God.
Yeah, no, God no. All right, enough with offseason stuff. Let's talk about the finals. So we've had the first 2 games of the finals, and they were both really weird, is the best way to say it.
Yeah.
Game 1 looked like it was going to be a blowout in favor of the Warriors. Steph was draining threes. Boston then came back thanks to Al Horford, of all people, going off, scoring 26 points. Al Horford. And it looked like it was going to be one of those close down-to-the-wire games until the fourth quarter when Boston just blew them out. Final score, 120-108. Really weird. It's like you look up from your phone and it's just like, wait a minute. Wasn't this game close at the start of this quarter? What happened?
No, seriously, it's funny you say that because my friend that night, game 1, my friend, he was like, bro, the Warriors. And I was telling him, I said, bro, I just don't know, man. I like the Celtics. Like, you feel me? I like the Celtics. And then as the game's going, Steph's draining all those threes. He's texting me. He said, I told you, that boy 30, he's different. I told you. I'm like, man, it's game 1. I don't even want to hear it. I'm trying to make every excuse in the book. I'm like, man, it's game 1. I don't even want to talk about it. I don't want to hear it. Like, we'll come back game 2. Then later that night, he texted me, and I had fell asleep during the game. I woke up in the middle of the night, and I see my text messages, and all he sent was the shaking my head emoji. So at that point, I knew something had happened that he didn't like. So I went and checked the score, and I was like, oh my God, these boys really came back. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Boston impressed me. I thought after watching the first quarter of game 1, I thought, oh, this is going to be another series where the Warriors just throttle them.
I thought
at
it was
all.
going to be 4-0 sweep after I saw the first 10 minutes of the first game.
Yeah. No, Boston came to play. Golden State did get even in game 2. They won that 107-88, I think. Which brings up an interesting question now. Game 3 is tonight, the first game in Boston, starting at 9 p.m. for some reason.
I like Boston.
ABC. Does Boston take the series later, or does Golden State make it 2 in a row?
I'm going Golden State.
I'm going Boston.
I'm just going to say the TD Garden crowd is built different.
That TD Garden crowd is going to bring a lot of energy tonight. And you got to think about it like this. Klay Thompson, he's going to have a great game tonight. He hasn't really played too well in the first 2 games. Last game, he had 7 points. He's going to have a great game tonight. But you have to look on the other side. Jason Tatum really has not played well in his first 2 games either. Yes, the other night he had 22 or whatever. He had 23 or whatever it was. But, it was a very quiet 23. The first game, I believe he had 12 points the whole entire game. The first half, he had 12 points. He ended the game with 12 points. So we're going to see a big game out of Jason Tatum tonight. And when Jason Tatum has big games, I don't think the Celtics lose.
So Jason Tatum did put up 28 points in game 2.
Okay.
So
I know it was 20-something, but it was very quiet because, you even when somebody's having a big game, the commentators don't stop talking about them all night. So that was a very quiet 28 because I'd never heard the commentators really talk about it during the game.
Yeah. And to be fair, game 2, Golden State was pretty much in control for the entire game until the fourth quarter when Boston started to actually, Boston outscored them. But by that point, Golden State had already pulled out a big lead. 2 games in, who's your finals MVP?
It's got to be Steph Curry right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It's
Does he finally get his finals MVP?
No, they're gonna give it to Draymond Green and just say screw you, Steph. They're gonna be like,
If we're looking at it on Boston's side, though, I gotta say Marcus Smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been. Yeah.
Unless Al Horford keeps doing what he couldn't do in Philly.
I gotta say, I think Al Horford would be my pick right now. I mean, he led he led them in rebounds in game 2. 26 points in game 1.
We'll see what happens in game 3.
Yeah, I hope Boston keeps this competitive because after seeing the first 2 games, I want this series to go the distance. I know. I said in my prediction, I said Golden State in 6. I kind of want to see Golden State take it in 7.
So here's the funny thing about Game 7. I saw this on Twitter yesterday. Game 7 would actually be on Father's Day. So we have Juneteenth, Father's Day, and Game 7 all in one day.
What a wild day.
Ooh, problem with that. I'm gonna be at my buddy's bachelor party that day. Oh, you know what? Golden State in 6. Golden State in 6. No sport events that day, please. That day is no sporting events, please. There will be debauchery and celebration of a man losing his rights that day. If you're watching this, Noah, shout out to Noah. Noah, so happy for you, bro. But we're going to destroy you on that day. All right. So let's wrap it up with the NBA and move over to the world of the NFL, where a lot has happened, including some sad stuff, mostly sad stuff. We had some retirements and some other stuff. There's also been some interesting stuff we'll talk about. But first, we just quickly got to give our thoughts and prayers to the family of Marion Barber, the former Cowboys running back, tragically passed away earlier this week at the age of 38 years old. Barber, growing up, if you watched old Cowboys games, Barber was the big power back that they had back there. I think he is probably most famous for that legendary run he had where it was only a 2-yard run, but he got forced back into his own end zone and made one of the coolest jukes I've ever seen to get out of that. I did not see what the cause of death was, but I will say everyone here at the Sports Guys and Podcast, our thoughts and prayers are with his family. It's always tragic to see a person that you grew up watching, one of your heroes from your childhood pass away. So thoughts and prayers are with the family of Marion Barber as they deal with this tragedy.
Yeah,
definitely, 100%.
Sure.
Very sad to see because, like you said, he was a big guy growing up, and me being a Redskins fan, of course, I hated him, but you couldn't hate the guy's talent, and it's just
he was one of those guys that you're like, damn, I really wish he was on our team.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you didn't hate the guy, you were just like, damn.
Yeah.
Why couldn't we have had him?
Yeah, exactly.
Other sad news we've got, not sad as in people dying, but sad as in we're not going to be seeing these guys play anymore. We had a string of retirements. I'll go from, so we had Alex Mack, the 49ers offensive lineman. He's been there forever. Retired. Another big, 49er that retired. Go ahead, Calvin. Sorry.
I said that's big. That's major there.
Yeah.
Like you said, he's been there forever.
Yeah. Another 49er that retired. Frank Gore signed a 1-day contract with the 49ers to retire. 3rd all-time on the all-time rushing list. He's finally hanging it up. A bit sad. I kind of wanted him to play until his son got into the league so he could play against him, but
yeah, that would have been pretty cool.
Yeah.
They're just saving that for LeBron.
Would they have been the first father-son in the NFL?
I don't. Let me check.
I don't see how it wouldn't be.
Yeah, I don't think there's been father-son in the NFL. I think Ken Griffey and Ken Griffey Jr. are the only ones that really done that.
They are. In any sport, they are the only one.
Yeah.
They are. Yeah. Those Griffey boys were different, though. They're the only father-son duo to also hit back-to-back home runs. They did that in like the 90s.
Yeah. But it's also baseball you're able to have a very long career in baseball.
Oh, yeah. You can have longevity in baseball way more than longevity in football. One injury in football, you may end your career.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very different. Here's a interesting question. What sport can you have the longest career in? Curious if you guys know. No, not baseball.
I want to say hockey, to be honest.
Golf?
It is golf. I believe so. Golf is one of the few sports. It's either golf and you're gonna think I'm stupid. I'm saying this. It's either golf or it's motor racing. And I say that because I have to bring up the fact that Richard Petty began his career in 1958 and retired in 1992. So, that's like 5 decades.
And golf, if you think about it, Arnold Palmer was old his last match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My grandfather's in his late 70s and he's still golfing.
Yeah.
Not professionally, but I mean, still. You can golf whenever you want.
Other retirement, and this one hit me the hardest. Fitzmagic is gone.
Yeah, that one.
Ryan Fitzpatrick officially retired. I hate it.
I wanted to see him play on every team.
He scammed us, man. He scammed the Redskins. $10 million and got up out of there.
Yes,
He
absolutely.
made Tampa Bay fun to watch for the first time in years. It didn't.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He proved that our offense could be good and paved the way for Tom Brady to get us to the promised land. But oh my!
What's the final tally on teams he played for?
He played for ready.
It's like around 10.
Got to be like 10 or up.
Around
13 or
10 and a
above.
half.
9. He began his
9.
career playing for the Rams from 2005 to 2006. He was with the Bengals from 07 to 08, with the Bills from 09 to 2012, Titans in 2013, Texans in 2014, Jets from 15 to 16, Bucks from 17 to 18, Dolphins from 19 to 20, and he ended his career with the football team in 2021.
The
Wow.
Bills have been trying to get him to sign a one-day contract, but nothing's happened yet.
It would make sense for him to end his career with Buffalo. That was where he had some of his best seasons.
He had some great moments in Buffalo.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He had some great moments in Miami too, though.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Like the throw with his helmet, like.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so beautiful. That was one of the most that game, by the way. Oh, that game is one of the best games of recent football I've ever watched.
Right?
That was it. What was it? It was like it was a Thursday or a Saturday night. That Saturday night game between the Raiders and the Dolphins during 2020 was just perfect.
Chef's kiss.
Yep.
Fantastic. I'll always remember him from the start to the 2018? Yeah, the start to the 2018 season with the Bucks, where he, put up 48 points on the Saints, and then the very next week took down the defending Super Bowl champion Eagles, and then almost led an incredible comeback against the Steelers. That's what I'll remember him for. Just making the Bucks look legit for the first 3 weeks of the 2018 season before we turned into absolute dog manure. I hated those Bucks teams. One last bit of news for the NFL. I was going to include the Deshaun Watson case, but that's something that I think we need, and we need a lot more time. And I want to get to the rest of this stuff.
Yeah, we need some more details on that.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson case we will definitely get into next week because it is not over. What we will get into is the new owners of the Denver Broncos. They own every part of our lives, and now they own a football team too. It's Walmart.
Walmart.
$4.5 billion. Wow.
That's my reaction.
I think I saw a graphic today, and I think the Broncos are actually the most expensive franchise now. It's like Broncos at 4.5, and then somebody was right below them. It was crazy though.
I don't think the Broncos are worth that much, to be honest.
No.
Maybe if Russell makes them into a contender this year, maybe if they win a Super Bowl, which I kind of hope they do because it would be a lot of fun, maybe. But I don't know. They're owned not by Walmart itself. I should clarify. They're owned by an heir to Walmart, to the Walmart fortune. So, but remember, what is it? We all thought Peyton Manning was going to buy the Broncos, and it ends up being Walmart.
Fitting.
And you know what's funny? This brings me to something funny I remember from childhood. I have to bring up. Have you guys ever watched the Alien movies?
Yeah.
You know the fourth one, Resurrection, the one no one talks about?
No, actually I don't know that one.
It was the one in the 90s directed by Joss Whedon, the guy who directed the first two Avengers movies. Not a very good movie. Not good at all. But it did have one very hilarious bit where they're talking about the company that was responsible for all of the BS in the first three movies. It was like, whatever happened to Weyland-Yutani? Oh, they got bought up by Walmart years ago. Life is imitating art.
The memes write themselves, and
I'm not comparing the Broncos to a fictitious company from a sci-fi franchise that puts profit over its workers by forcing them to try and capture a hostile perfect organism that kills you in extremely gruesome and for some reason phallic ways. For some reason, I'm not trying to compare the Broncos to Weyland-Yutani, but I'm just saying.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Well, that'll do it for the NFL. And now, the moment we all been waiting for, time to talk about the NHL and the Stanley Cup playoffs, because it has been crazy over there. We have our first finalist for the Stanley Cup.
Yep.
Thank
you.
Oh yeah. This is the part where we get to talk shit about the Oilers.
Thank God. I've been waiting for this one all episode.
I know. So, when we last left off, Game 1 had been a shootout with the Avs winning 8-6 after holding off an Oilers comeback. The Avs then in game 2, it was scoreless in the first period, but the Avs then scored 3 goals in 5 minutes to take a 4-0 victory and a 2-0 series lead as we headed back to Edmonton, where something interesting happened.
Very.
Game
You wanna roll the
2.
clip? Oh,
I'll
wait.
get to that. Game 2, the Avs won at 4-2, but it was a Pyrrhic victory as they lost their star Nazem Kadri because of this.
And Kadri goes crashing into the boards. It's a cross-check. It's not a push. And that's an extremely dangerous play. Referee in perfect position to make the call. And the refs will have a conversation about this. We'll have to see.
So, you guys want to take a guess who that was?
I think that
Knocking
was
Nazem
some.
Kadri?
There was some asshole named Evander Kane.
Yep. Yep. Evander Kane with just the type of hit that makes you just want to. I'm going to be nice. Evander Kane was suspended 1 game for this. Nazem Kadri was out for the rest of the series, and hopefully he'll be back for the Stanley Cup Finals. I say that because in a wild game 4, Edmonton built up a 4-2 game lead, then watched in horror as the Avs came back to lead at 5-4. Edmonton did tie it up, sending it to overtime, where Arturi Lehkonen, same guy whose overtime goal against the Golden Knights last year got the Canadiens to the finals, scored the game winner for the Avs. Oilers are swept out of the playoffs. Evander Kane's ex-wife was tweeting the broom emoji on Instagram.
It was beautiful.
For the first time since 2001, the Colorado Avalanche are in the Stanley Cup Finals.
It showed a lot of heart too, man.
They did.
Especially in those games, like when they scored 3 goals in 5 minutes. It's insane. They showed that they deserve to be right where they're at.
I want them to win it all.
This Avalanche, if my Lightning don't make it out of the Eastern Conference Finals, go Avs. This Avalanche team is so much fun. I mean, they've had to deal with so much BS throughout this playoffs. Nazem Kadri getting hurt and also getting death threats because of the collision he and Jordan Binnington had in the series against St. Louis. But this team, they're so much fun. Nathan McKinnon's a beast. Cale Makar is a beast. Nazem Kadri is a beast. They even got Jonathan Taves from the old Blackhawks dynasty is on this team. He's still kicking. So
impressive.
Man, it's so much fun. As for the other series, the Eastern Conference Finals, this one's a bit more competitive. So game 1 and 2, the Rangers stunned the Lightning. Rangers beat my team 6-2 in game 1. We took advantage of a Tampa team that was way more focused on trying to be aggressive than actually winning. And in game 2, the Rangers took a 2-0 series lead with a 3-2 victory. But the last 2 days, Tampa has decided to finally start playing hockey. We took game 3 at the last second when Palat scored, making it 3-2 victory with seconds left. And in game 4, we dominated. So we're tied up 2-2. Lightning seem to have all the momentum going forward. Hopefully this isn't like the Rangers Hurricane series where the home team just wins all the time, because they were in trouble.
A little bit.
We could take a 3-2 series lead tomorrow night. And God, I hope we do, because this Rangers team has been playing
insane
dangerous hockey.
I like the Lightning in 7.
Yeah.
Can we not play at 7?
As long as it's not the Rangers.
We've been playing really rusty because we had so much time off to kind of just goof around after we swept the Panthers. I don't know. We're just it's been a difficult series so far, but we've tied things up. So
we have an
looking
animal
forward
sighting.
We have what?
An animal sighting. My dog just appeared.
Well, that'll do it for the NHL. Now on to our little fun things we do at the end of the episode. We start with our goobers of the week. Kylie, who are our goobers of the week this week?
All right. So as always, Rob Manfred.
Good old Rob Manfred.
Always has to be. Worst commissioner in the league in all the sports. So, has to be him.
Oh, yeah.
And then a very special goober, Evander Kane.
Oh, yeah.
So congratulations, you bum. You're a goober.
The fact of the matter is this: Evander Kane scored more goals and more points than anyone else in the playoffs with the Oilers. The fact that he got his suspension may have contributed to them to lose it. If he wasn't suspended, there's a good shot that the Oilers probably would have been able to get one out of that series and win that game, because they were going to win that game. But it was almost as if they were missing somebody on the ice that could have helped prevent that incredible comeback. by the Avalanche that could have prevented someone whose physicality, when contained and moderated, emphasis on moderated, could have helped them. He wasn't there. Oh no. Yeah, he's Goober of the Week.
110%.
Oh yeah. Moving on. Who won it all that year? This one was difficult for me because I was like, okay, what year can I stump you guys? Because I've done a lot of recent years and I realized I got an idea. We're throwing it way back
Oh, God.
to a far off year node called 1997. Which is apparently ancient now, I've been informed.
Right?
All right. Let's start things off with one that you guys should probably know. Who won the World Series in 1997?
Yankees.
I think the Yankees, yeah.
Not the Yankees. The Yankees didn't make it that year due to they lost to Cleveland. Who beat Cleveland in the World Series? I'll give you a hint. This team immediately dismantled their World Series winning squad
Miami.
after just one. There you go. Kylie got it. It was the Florida Marlins. Wait, no, that's wrong. It was Florida.
Yeah, Florida Marlins.
The
Same
Florida
thing.
Marlins. That Florida Marlins team that came out of nowhere to win the World Series and immediately dismantled their team because Wayne Huizenga decided, oh, you know what? I've had enough of baseball. I'm going to fudge the numbers to make it look like I lost money so I can get rid of this team. He
Right.
did that. Yeah. It's the most random World Series winner of all time. This one is going to be an easy one. Who won the NBA Finals in 1997?
Bulls.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's the flu game, Bulls.
I had to think about that for a second. I was like, wait.
And I was like
97?
90, yeah. Nobody else won in the 90s but that guy.
Right?
The 90s, literally with the 90s, the way to determine who won the World NBA Finals in the 90s is simple. Okay. There's a 50-50 chance it was either Jordan or Hakeem.
Yep.
Coin.
Well,
And
the
if it
Lakers
wasn't
won
those-
in 90.
What?
Lakers won in 90.
Pistons. It was the
Lakers.
Bad Boy Pistons.
What's the Pistons?
The Bad Boy
Oh, that's
Pistons.
right. That's right. That was the last year the Pistons won.
Yep. The 97 Bulls, they defeated the
Ubers.
Jazz in their first of 2 consecutive matchups. People don't really talk about this series a lot because we love to talk about the 98 series and the Bulls winning it with that with MJ's last game and the shot. 97 series does deserve some love because it was the flu game and
Food
it was a great
poisoning.
series. I think it was the series where Steve Kerr had a game winner that won the game in Game 6.
Yep.
Moving on, who was your Stanley Cup champion of 1997?
It was a year. It was the Devils.
I'm not
Thinking-
sure.
You're thinking in the right direction, Kylie.
I know. Shit. It's not the Red Wings.
Is it?
It is the Red Wings?
It was the Red Wings.
Oh, wow.
It was the beginning of Detroit's evil empire. Yeah, the Red Wings. They faced off against the Philadelphia Phillies, who at the time had Eric Lindros. And were
Flyers.
Did I say Phillies? I meant Flyers. Yeah. Hang on, let me.
Yeah, the Flyers haven't done anything since the 80s.
It was the Flyers, and the Red Wings swept the Flyers. This was a Flyers team best known for having Eric Lindros. They had been so good throughout the 90s. They finally got to the Stanley Cup, and they ran into the greatest hockey team of all time, the late 90s, early 2000s Red Wings, and got swept.
Yeah.
Ouch. Finally, who won the Super Bowl in 97?
I got to be Brett Favre.
96.
He was in the Super Bowl.
Wasn't the Cowboys, was it?
Oh, no. The Cowboys were already trashed by this point.
Good.
Brett Favre was in this Super Bowl. He did not win it. Came close, but he did not win it.
What year was it that Brett did win it?
1996.
So he won the year before.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Packers did make it back, and they were heavy, heavy favorites because they had been, most teams. There's a trend to the NFL of teams winning the Super Bowl. And
They
then
beat the Patriots the year before. I'm not sure who they lost to that year after.
I'll give you guys a hint. This was a team that up to this point had never won the Super Bowl. They had been to the Super Bowl many times, but had always been blown out.
Wasn't the Rams, was it?
Was not the Rams, not yet. This team had a quarterback who had been so close, had been so good, and they finally got it done.
The hell?
Final answer. 5,
The
4.
the Falcons.
No,
No,
they don't
not
have
the-
a Super Bowl.
It was John Elway and the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, damn it.
1997 Super Bowl.
Oh.
Watch that game. That game is probably one of the greatest Super Bowls ever. John Elway and the Broncos finally got it done. This was a wild card team that wasn't even supposed to be here, that had to beat the juggernauts of the AFC just to get to the Super Bowl. They have to face off against the defending champions in a Packers team that is one of the most stacked rosters of the 90s, and they won.
That's insane.
That was, great game too. Thank you for playing Who Won It All next week. Next week, 1966.
Oh, God.
Nah, we'll keep it simple next week. All right, Kylie, stump me. Or stump us.
All right, so we got 2 facts and a lie. I give you 2 facts, 1 lie. You pick out which one is the lie. All right, so number 1, Teddy Roosevelt wanted to ensure player safety, so he warned that he would ban football unless they established more player safety. In response, the rules were revised and introduced the forward pass. Number 2, the largest point spread in the history of the NFL came in a game between the Broncos and the Jaguars. Denver was favored by 24.5 in the second week of 2013. Calvin, you're a sports bettor. You should know this one. And number 3, the longest MLB at-bat since 1988 is 21 pitches by the San Francisco Giants' Brandon Belt against the Angels' Jamie Barria in 2018. It ended in a flyout.
So I don't know about the last one. I think it's A, because I know that the forward pass was invented by John Heisman, which is why they call it the Heisman Trophy, because he invented the forward pass and he started doing it.
I was going to go with A as well, because
Yeah.
I know that number 2 one probably is true, because Peyton Manning spreads were crazy back then.
Is that
I'm
your
gonna go
final
with A.
answer?
I'm going to go with A.
Yeah, I'm going with A.
Actually, B.
Wow.
What?
The largest point spread was 26.5, not 24.5.
And that what game was
Who's
that?
26.5?
That game.
Wow.
Damn, it was even worse.
Yeah.
Really? Really? Teddy Roosevelt? Really? I thought the forward pass was invented because John Heisman was a mad genius.
Teddy Roosevelt wanted more player safety, so this is probably what brought it on from Heisman.
All right, I'll take your word for it. I'll take your word for it.
Man,
That 21 pitch at bat, by the way. Oh my gosh! Imagine watching that.
dude, I hate that.
Yeah.
Be
Like, as a baseball fan, I
hell.
love that, but if that's like against my team, I hate it.
And as the pitcher, I would hate it too. Like,
Dude, I know.
get out of here.
I know. Like, get out.
hell. All right, Calvin, close us out with your best bets for the week
Alrighty.
Okay.
or the day. The day.
Today we are going back with the Marlins over the Nationals.
I like it.
I'll take it.
I like the Astros and the Mariners to score under 10.5 points combined. We're gonna go with the Braves today. We're definitely running with the Yankees over the Twins. Yankees are too hot not to run with them. You got to run with the Yankees till they get cold. I'm gonna take the Dodgers to bounce back against the White Sox and take the Dodgers over the White Sox today. I'm pretty sure Johnson's 6-0, so I don't see that guy losing anytime soon. Giants, I'm going to go with the Giants to bounce back over the Rockies and the Giants to win today. I like the Mets not to lose by more than 3 points. You see how I played my Mets safe there and everybody else is.
All right.
And then I like the Red Sox to beat the Angels because the Angels are just cold. You got to keep betting against those guys so they get a win.
Yeah.
So those are the best bets for today.
All right. You
As
heard the
al-
man. And just remember, we do post on Twitter Calvin's bets every day, or we try to at least.
I'll
So
get them.
if you want-
I'll make sure I send them after this so that you guys can see them.
Good
Yeah.
stuff. Good stuff. Just remember, if you want to get any betting, that's why we brought him on, so we could get that betting in there. We get a lot of interaction with those tweets. Just want to say,
Hey,
people
just
really are
know,
into it.
everybody listening and watching, I hope you guys are still here NFL season because we're going to make a lot of money together. I promise.
Yes, we are. I'm very, very excited for that one.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be great. Stay tuned for that.
All right, Kylie, take us home.
All right. That concludes this week's episode of the Sportsgasm Podcast. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked what you heard, tune in next week, same time. If you like what you heard, check out that support button on Anchor, interact with us, help us grow and improve, comment, anything like that. Check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, all that stuff. We post all the time. We'll be asking you questions for future episodes and posting them on the social media pages as well. So thank you guys so much. We will see you next week. And as always, thank you to our sponsors.
Thank you guys so much for
Peace out,
tuning
guys.
in. Check out all of our sponsors down there. Remember to use promo code OCS at both Norse Beards and Body Check Wellness so you can get 25% off all your purchases. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to episode 21.
Bye, guys.
Peace.